It's 2026. Happy New Year from all of us at Kaleidoscope. As 2025 came with its ups and downs, we bring on a dose of positivity to start the new year, looking at Sri Lankan women who made headlines in 2025. Chess prodigy Devindya Oshini Gunawardena, international model Ilina Gunawardena, national women's cricket skipper Chamari Atapattu, Colombo Mayor Rai Kali Baltazar, Dialogue Axiata's Sandra De Souza, Sri Lanka's hip-hop sensation Ashanti, peace builder Pushpi Veerakorn, and member of the Swiss Federal Parliament Farah Rumi. Here's to 2026 opening more doors and creating more opportunities to shine. And as we bring you our first program for 2026 from the Kaleidoscope studios, Krishan Balendra, Gen Disruptors, and your rapid snapshot of the week with CDB. "2026 is loading. 4 Gen Z voices step in, sharp, restless, and unapologetic on what they expect next.
My expectations for 2026 would be to be more creative, as a lot of people know AI is developing more rapidly. So I think what I believe is that one thing which separates us or sets us apart from humans and technology is to be more creative.
With 2026 and everything changing so rapidly, whether it's technology, how people work, the climate, that people are going to want to start looking back to their roots. My role in that would be, I think, helping brands put themselves into the whole search for the true self, and we've already started doing that slowly with more personal campaigns.
I guess as a community we'll have to face more challenges, maybe more developed or more improved versions of challenges, and that will require a more developed self or like sort of a communal response as well. My role throughout 2026 would be to identify like my position in all of this would change, and I'm looking forward to it.
My expectation for 2026 is to see the country go from stability to more sustainable growth, and I think with the IMF-backed reforms and role towards stepping more towards the digital economy, we're definitely getting there. We're moving towards digitalization and leaning more into AI-driven processes and automizing things so that things are more efficient.
Catch all things Kaleidoscope, watch, follow, and stay updated on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Brought to you by SriLanka Live, CDB, and The Daily Morning. Thank you for your continued partnership.
She wins with CDB Wings, exclusive financial solutions for women.
All the news that matters in a flash. This is CDB News in a Blink. Sri Lanka's apparel exports reached $368 million in November, an increase of 5.42% in the first 11 months of 2025. Sri Lanka's customs revenue surpasses 2.49 trillion rupees as of the 26th of December 2025. Sri Lanka's total number of active credit cards rise to 2,133,417 by the end of October. There's no more snail mail in Denmark. The state-run postal service has been put to rest. Beyoncé becomes the 5th musician to be declared a Forbes billionaire.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. SriLanka Life.
As 2025 closes, Sri Lanka's economy seems to be back on its feet. After 5% growth in 2024, expansion continues this year. Inflation is under control and stability has returned. But with 1 in 4 Sri Lankans still facing poverty and natural disaster not sparing us, recovery is not yet shared by all. As we step into 2026, can business turn stability into momentum? Who better to ask than the chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, Krishan Balendra, who is on Kaleidoscope Dialogues today. As Sri Lanka enters 2026, what would you identify as the single most critical economic inflection point facing the country right now?
The economy has recovered well after our worst economic crisis in our history that we had in 2022, and we have seen a lot of resilience and stability and 2 years of decent GDP growth of around 5% in 2024 and expected to be close to 5% in 2025. We set ourselves on a very good path after the crisis and achieved the stability that we have achieved. It's important that we continue that discipline, remain on the path, and do everything that needs to be done to recover from the cyclone.
What should change structurally if Sri Lanka's economic growth is to be sustained rather than cyclical?
One critical factor is inflation and interest rates. If you look at the last so many decades, it's been cycles of high inflation, high interest rates, dropping inflation, low interest rates, and a repeat of that cycle. This time round, there is a real chance that inflation targeting could work. The central bank is now by law independent, and with that we could see for the first time stable interest rates, and that predictability can make a big difference for business. It's almost something that we are not used to in Sri Lanka as businesses that operate in Sri Lanka, because we've always had cycles. So if we can have predictable inflation, steady inflation, and flat interest rates, that can be quite a material difference.
What are investors, global investors, saying about Sri Lanka going forward in 2026? Are we a turnaround story or are we a high-risk market?
It's only 2.5 years, 3 years since our worst economic crisis. We have come out of a default credit rating. We are seeing, looking at the investors and partners that we talk to, we are seeing early signs of interest returning to Sri Lanka. I wouldn't say we have turned the corner, but certainly there is reason to be optimistic.
Global trade is realigning, geopolitics is shaping supply chains. Where does Sri Lanka fit into all this?
We have the largest port in South Asia. It's already the hub port in South Asia. It's a natural deep water port. More container handling capacity has been added. So I think we can fit in a big way in ports and logistics. But in manufacturing, while we've had some good manufacturing sectors, going forward to become a export-driven economy, we need to identify other sectors where the country has a comparative advantage. We are next door to India, yes, next door to South Asia. India has a growing manufacturing base. How do we fit into that supply chain? We need to do more work there, but I think there is an opportunity. You are seeing, especially after COVID and now after the US tariffs, that Indian companies are looking to de-risk out of India. Sri Lanka is a choice because we are close by, similar culture, easy fit. But what are those areas? We need to identify where do we have a comparative advantage to be competitive in the global supply chain.
So if you were to define success for Sri Lanka's business by the end of 2026, what would that look like in concrete terms?
We've had 2 years of good growth. So we've recovered well as an economy, GDP growth of around 5%. We need to maintain that momentum and in fact improve on that. And as a private sector, we have to continue to grow our businesses on all fronts, and also to work with our partners, with our investors, look for new opportunities to generate FDI into the country. It's only with FDI that we will take our growth rate to a level where we will truly come out of this economic crisis that we've had.
So cheers to a 2026 where dreams come true, hard work pays off and life thrives. From all of us at Kaleidoscope, Happy New Year. We'll be back next week.